Hold on, stop.
Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill.
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.
What is going on? And welcome to Take on the World. I've got yours truly, Johnny Boy, Jay Dilly, and
Lexi plus dog.
we have our podcast therapy dog.
Yeah,
I'm
podcast
not sure
support
who
dog.
needs therapy, us or the dog.
We are ADA and EEOC compliant.
Right.
And
And we have you.
and then there's me, Mike D.
My thing.
So we're gathered here together, dearly beloved, to talk about a very special topic.
Marriage.
Marriage.
Sweet marriage.
I just saw The Princess Bride all the way through the other day for the first time.
Really?
Yeah.
I must have seen that movie like 10 times.
It's one of
Yeah.
Mom's favorites.
Anybody want a peanut?
I don't think that means what you think it means.
They said
Andre the Giant.
Inconceivable.
Andre the Giant was like hurting so bad in that film.
Yeah.
Like when when the Princess Bride jumped out the window
Yeah.
and he caught her.
Yeah.
Like she was, I guess they had basically like held him up and she was on strings. So she didn't really land in his arms.
His knees by the end, and that was the end.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't too long after that he passed away.
Yeah.
His knees were so bad.
His back.
Yeah, everything.
Shot.
He was in so much pain. Dude, when I was little, going back to my younger years,
1842.
I shook Andre the Giant's hand as a child, and it was like putting a peanut in a catcher's mitt. Putting my hand in his hand, and he was just so gentle. He like, hi, how are you doing?
French. Bonjour.
Oh yeah.
But he was,
Bonjour.
and I know guys who had told me stories about when they traveled with him, how he'd have a case of beer, and it would last 15 miles on the road, and they'd have to stop and get more beer. And he put a beer can in his hand, and it would look like one of the little ones,
can,
the little
yeah.
baby cans.
I guess what they also said during the filming of The Princess Bride, he drank like a 40 ounce of basically like a concoction of different liquors that he called the American. And who's the guy, Kelsey, or is it damn it, who played the fucking actor in that movie? Anyway, so he said he let him try it the one day, and he's like, Jesus Christ, it's like jet fuel?
You know, there's like 20 actors in that movie.
The main guy.
The guy who played,
Wesley.
Yes, yeah.
what was his name?
I can't remember. Come here. I'll put you on the ground. Come here.
He is trying.
He is.
He'll break his little legs. So our podcast support animal is leaving.
He's done.
Goodbye.
He's probably going someplace to find someplace to take a poop.
Anyways.
So anyways, we're going to go back and
What's on the table for today?
the Jersey Devil,
Leeds
Jersey
Devil.
the Leeds Devil, or Mrs. Leeds' 13th child, as they call her. Since our proximity to New Jersey, this is a close to the heart topic for us, since Jersey sucks.
Go back to Jersey, you dirty bastard.
Joy.
I dislike Jersey with a passion.
I don't mind it. I just say I don't like it.
So we
Just
started
to
off
say
our
when you're on here.
podcast by doing a cryptid.
Yeah, Bigfoot.
We did Bigfoot.
I remember that.
And I'd love to hit that again because I think there's so much that we didn't hit.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Bigfoot, I just emailed you that thing.
Yeah.
What's it? Wisconsin?
No. It was not Arkansas. It was one of those middle of the country states.
Yeah. They
I'm gonna break my rule again.
the governor's proposing to have a Bigfoot hunting season.
For what?
Actually, to bring in tourism.
Okay.
Ooh.
I wonder how much that license would cost.
Where did you send that to me at?
Uh,
Here it is. Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Bigfoot hunting season in Oklahoma. And they do it to boost tourism. But I think me and John should take this shit on the road
yeah,
and go Bigfoot hunting in Oakley.
Bigfoot hunting.
Oh, yeah.
You go right ahead.
The cryptid catchers.
That's us.
The cryptid connoisseurs.
So, wrapping back around to episode 23, which is this one. So, 22 episodes and 2 cryptids.
Not bad.
There's a bunch of them out there. There's a bunch we want to cover in the future, but this week it is the Jersey Devil.
Which made you think of this one?
It's hockey season.
Yeah, hockey season.
Okay.
Because the Jersey Devils got their name from the Jersey Devil.
No way.
Yeah.
It's weird.
How did you put that together?
I saw a program on it. I saw it on the internet, so that makes it true. So the Jersey Devil, or the Leeds Devil, is a popular folk tale.
I like the Jersey Devil.
I do too.
Anybody calls it the Leeds Devil, takes it right in the ass.
Well, it was called the Leeds Devil up
Do you call it the
until...
Leeds Devil?
No, I don't. Not
that's
today, anyway.
Yesterday.
Twice for that.
So it was the Leeds Devil in the 17 and 1800s. But it was... I think I have down what year the Jersey Devil moniker came into play. Anyway, it's an area in southern New Jersey called the Pine Barrens. I think everybody knows this, but in case you don't, the Pine Barrens takes up 22% of all of New Jersey. So it's a big area. It's very secluded. So when you have a big area like that that's very secluded, you're going to have sightings of weird stuff.
Yeah.
Bigfoot, all the sightings are out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Mostly.
He's just a homeless man that never trims his toenails.
Could be. We've had this discussion.
You ever drive through the Pine Barrens?
Actually, I have, because if you take the Atlantic City Parkway, you go right through it.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of cut in half. There's 2 major roads that go: the Atlantic City Parkway and the Garden State Parkway. They both go through there. So if you look to the left and right, there's nothing.
Yeah. I think it's just cool. It's like pine trees, but they're all lined up like perfectly. You kind of see like the rows of, it looks like a cornfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's barren.
So the soil down there is very acidic, so they can't grow any crops there. That's why there was never any like big towns. There's small coastal towns because you have fishing then, but you get in from the coast and there's nothing there. So the soil is very sandy and acidic, and it's nutrient poor. So what can you grow there? Pine trees, because pine trees will grow in shit.
Yeah.
They'll grow on rock. They don't
To be
care.
very fair, if there was shit in soil, it would be very, very good with nutrients.
Yes, that's true.
So you're kind of wrong.
Pine trees are
in your
Okay, thanks for pointing that out.
euphemism, yeah.
But they say the Pine Barrens helps recharge a 17 trillion gallon aquifer. And it says it contains some of the purest water in the United States. I didn't know anything pure was in New Jersey.
Yeah.
I would dispute this one.
I wonder if it's pure before they take it out.
It's probably
Or
pure before it
after.
actually hits the Jersey air.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So I've always had a joke, a long-standing joke, how dirty Jersey is. If Jersey's the Garden State if you're growing smokestacks. So me and Lexi went on a canoe trip down to Delaware, and I kept on telling her, stay on this side of the river, stay on this side of the river. And our guide was like, what's that about? Oh, I said, the farther you get to that side, it's Jersey air. You got to hold your breath because it'll pollute your lungs. And he thought it was funny. But like every time we go into Jersey, I'm like, okay, we're crossing the bridge. We got to hold our breath. Oh no, my lungs are polluted.
I used to go down there every year. Cape May.
On the way to Cape May.
It's pretty down there.
That's where.
Well, like if you're on the beach, it's pretty. But like, I mean, like some of the houses in towns are really nice, but they're mostly like the towns that are right outside of like nicer areas of the beach.
Well, years ago, Lexi lived down there for a little bit, working on the beach, and her lungs are almost back to shape now.
Almost. Almost. It's taken a lot of therapy, but
I will tell you, the little town that she worked in, I really liked it.
Well, it was a dry island, so like there was no alcohol or anything. There weren't like a bunch of rowdy people.
Yeah, what's up with that?
The state store is across the bridge.
Yeah.
So
The state store is literally, so you cross the bridge, this is the light, as soon as you're getting off the bridge, the state store is right there.
Yeah, I never understood that. Like,
You can't buy alcohol on the island.
What's
It's like-
Wildwood? Isn't it dry too?
No, Wildwood.
No,
isn't.
Wildwood's not dry.
No.
What's the one that's dry?
Ocean City, New Jersey.
Ocean City, New Jersey. That's where she was. Yeah. But now, over the years, I've taken the scouts, and we've camped on the beach for beach camp, and always had a great time. I actually enjoy Wildwood. I enjoy the boardwalk. Usually when the scouts are down, the firemen are also down there.
Mm-hmm.
So down at the convention hall, they have all kinds of fire apparatus and stuff, which is cool. The boys loved it. But we always had a good time down there. And I actually, something that you had turned me on to a long time ago.
Whoa, I turned you on to something?
Fish tacos, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Remember how I used to bust your chops?
Yeah, you did. Fish taco.
Oh, who the fuck was a fish taco?
I've never had a fish taco.
So we're down at Wildwood. We're on the boardwalk, which is probably like the worst place to try anything. But there's this stand. Everything looked clean there. Everything was good. I walked over and had fish tacos.
Mind.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try them. And I think I texted you when I tried them. And I'm like, holy fuck, these are really good.
Yeah.
So every time we go down to this first place I go is right to that stand to get fish tacos.
Oh, so good.
Now Nathan is an Eagle Scout, and he's an adult leader for Scouts, and now they don't get to go out with it anymore.
I mean, you could still go.
We should do a podcast down there. On our way to Oklahoma.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, just retire and take this shit on the road.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Hey, go fine.
So besides all the
YOLO.
trees in the Pine Barrens, it's desolate. Like, there's a town here on the coast, and then you come in and there's nothing.
What about when you drive through, I don't remember the name of that bridge, right when you get out from Philly into Jersey,
Ben Franklin?
Franklin. That's
and
the Ben Franklin Bridge.
you drive through, oh shit, was
Camden?
that Camden?
Oh my God, Camden.
Oh man, I made the mistake. I fucked up and I pulled into there one time.
That was the mistake.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I needed gas or something, or I don't know what the fuck I did.
So I'm on the crew in Camden.
And
I'm sure it'll shock you.
But it was like a little bit after the Camden exit where those burnout houses are and shit.
That's just called Jersey.
And it really looks like nobody lives there.
They don't.
And I pulled in there and I'm like, fuck this. I ran every red light and every stop sign to turn around and got the fuck out of there.
That's third world America.
Yeah.
Camden's pretty bad.
I almost went, there was this underwater welding school there.
You would tell me about that.
Probably still there. It's a huge freaking school. So all you underwater welders get trained there. And,
Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to get trained.
Yeah.
In commercial diving.
This was, it would have been affordable, to do it. But I don't know. I never pulled the trigger on it. And I was like, man, I don't know. That just sounds crazy. Like, who the fuck ever who does that? It's just like a crazy.
If I was younger, and like I'm claustrophobic, so the first time I scuba dived, I panicked.
Yeah.
As soon as I went underwater.
Well, they said that the water there is completely, the visibility there is terrible.
But what I was going to tell you, when I finally, just the last couple of years, I got certified to dive, and I dove, I did my checkout dives in a quarry, and they basically told us if you can dive in this quarry and pass the checkout dives, you could dive any place in the world.
Yeah.
Because the water in that quarry was terrible. Like you couldn't, if you got separated 5 feet from someone, you were lost.
Yeah.
And then if you're diving, your dive buddy is supposed to be visible at all times. If you don't see him, you're supposed to go back up to the surface. So, like me and Katie went down there. Like, I'm looking around, where's Katie? Where's Katie? And all of a sudden, I just saw a flipper next to me, and I'm like, okay, there she is. That's why she said she would have drowned, and I would have never known.
Yeah, so that's what they say there. If you can weld in that water, you can weld anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, you just look at it. It's brown and
Gross.
gross. I don't know if I could do it.
Well, you should get certified, and this summer, we should go down to that place in West Virginia and dive together.
Oh, yeah.
It's called the Little Bahamas of the East.
Little Bahamas
Summersville
East.
Lake. They said that the water clarity is amazing for a lake, and I want to go. Period. In the story.
That's all there is to it.
I need a dive buddy.
All right, and that wraps up the podcast for today.
Yeah, case solved. Good job, Mike.
That Jersey Devil, yeah, I found him. Anyway,
Turns out it's just a homeless man never trims his fingernails, toenails.
Well, it would be toenails and fingernails because this is supposed to be a hooved creature.
Yes.
Cloven foot, if you will.
like a pig or a horse.
Yes. Or a giraffe.
Yeah.
A camel.
So let's get back to Jersey Devil. There's a couple origin stories for the Jersey Devil. The first one and most popular is this woman who lived in the Pine Barrens, Jane Leeds, also known as Mother Leeds.
Mother Leeds.
The legend has it she had 12 kids. Or, well, it was the same guy, so not really a whore.
And I mean, it's probably in like the 1700s.
And even 12 kids was a lot back then. So she was pregnant with her 13th kid, and she's like, "Curse you, vagina!"
Right.
So she supposedly cursed this 13th child because it's a superstitious number, unlucky, and just out of frustration, she cursed the child. So on a dark, stormy night.
I thought 13 was supposed to be a lucky
No.
Unlucky.
Huh.
They do not have a row 13 on buses. They do not usually have a row 13 on an airplane.
A lot of older buildings don't have a floor 13.
They don't have a floor 13. They do not have any rooms with the number 13 in it in like a hotel. A lot of older hotels.
Except our hotel in Saipan was 1313.
Was it?
No.
Were we on the 13th floor?
It was like 313.
Anyways.
So,
I think we were the 9th floor.
was it 913 then?
I think
We were
on
in
the 9th
13
floor.
because I mentioned that the fact that it was.
Remember, we always had to go down to 6.
Yeah.
6 and make our lunch.
Lexi, I don't know if you know this, but me and John were in Saipan.
I do.
For 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Too long.
No way. It was too short.
Now, the first time I went, you had to go for 3 weeks.
I would have gone for 3 weeks. We should have went to Titian.
Yes. That's where the Enola Gay took off from. So, Mrs. Mother Leeds
Mother Hall Leeds.
was giving birth to this child on a dark, stormy night. And as the story goes, the baby came out normal, and then all of a sudden grew hooves, a goat head, bat wings, and a forked tail, and started growling and a high-pitched scream. And this story says it beat everybody with its tail before flying up the chimney and heading out. In other versions, it devoured everybody.
I like that version better.
Yeah, so good.
And then flew out and devoured livestock in the area. So,
What a nasty little devil this thing was.
he shouldn't have called me devil, Mama. He shouldn't have done it.
Why don't give me her feet?
Oh, yeah, here it is. It devoured everybody after transforming into the devil, and it flew up the chimney and gorged itself on livestock and other animals through the night. Some versions of the tale have the local clergyman coming out and attempting to exorcise the Pine Barrens for 100 years. They wanted to get rid of the creature for 100 years. Why not just say, be gone altogether?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, why not just not have a baby? Interesting.
So another origin story has Mother Leeds being identified as someone named Deborah Leeds. And this one, people buy into this one more so because their house was actually in Leeds Point. And Leeds Devil, Leeds Point.
Okay.
See. And they had, he had 13 children, but wrote his will, to only include 12 of them. And supposedly the 13th child, scorned, turned into a devil and
Blow the chimney in the way.
no, there's no chimney flying here, no devouring, just
turned into a devil.
Just turned into a devil and haunted the area.
Huh. I could buy that one.
I mean, yeah. Why not?
So Brian Regal, he's a historian of science.
Good. Okay.
Historical science? Historian of science at Keene University. Now that's, a prestigious university I've never heard of.
My master's in the trombone.
If you had a master's degree, might.
That's a real thing. I knew a kid, he was like, yeah, I'm studying to get my master's in the French horn. But he didn't know who Led Zeppelin was.
Well, I mean, Led Zeppelin didn't exactly create the
how many
French
Led Zeppelin songs use the French horn?
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're...
Don't get me wrong. I love Led Zeppelin.
If you're in the music...
I love Led Zeppelin, but
you're in the music.
You really do?
Yeah.
Get out.
I do.
If you're in the music, I say you're a fan of music. And it doesn't matter if they didn't play the French horn.
Two different kinds of music. That's classical music.
You should have been here for the Aleister Crowley episode.
I like classical music.
Aleister Crowley owned a house on the lake shores of Loch Ness. That
like a lot of this.
Yeah. Supposedly the Stairway to Heaven was written in that house.
Really?
Because one of the members of Led Zeppelin bought the house because it was Aleister Crowley.
Right, which makes sense for Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's where they
They
recorded
beat Ozzy to it.
Barnyard Stomp. I think they recorded that there too. It was like some chateau that they bought. Didn't have electricity.
I don't know.
Anyways.
So this Brian Regal, historian of science, he had a different theory on the origin. He thinks it was a colonial era political intrigue type thing more than anything else. And there were bitter feelings between Benjamin Franklin and Daniel Leeds, both politicians. And
he lived to be 70 years old. 69.
Yeah. So supposedly Benjamin Franklin had described Daniel Leeds' family as a monster. And
Monster?
That monster. Here we go again.
Still say it.
It's just how I say it, bro. Anyway.
Monster.
Okay. You want to join in? I'm just waiting for Katie to pop her head around the fucking corner. It's monster.
Monster.
So,
I'm just letting them know that it doesn't run in the family.
No, Ben Franklin called the family a bunch of...
Yeah, he called them monsters.
So he thinks it was more of a political strife type thing that started the Jersey Devil legend. But what does he know? He's only a college professor. Historian.
Keene University. It doesn't even sound real.
I thought Keene was like a type of shoe.
It is.
So, no matter what the origin story is, the description of the monster...
You were good that time.
Is about the same. Like a kangaroo-like creature with a horse or goat head, leathery bat wings, horns, small arms.
I can't reach the top shelf.
Clawed hands, legs with cloven hooves, and a forked tail.
Do you know that there's a difference between wyverns and dragons?
Really? Do tell.
One has wings and one doesn't.
Now we know. I skipped that word because I didn't know how to pronounce it.
Wyvern.
D&D does come in handy.
It does.
So it's been reported that it moves quickly and is often described as emitting a high-pitched, blood-curdling scream. Don't do it.
So instead of cursed milk, it says curdled milk.
Doesn't it only come out at night too? Is that what's
Mothman.
Mothman.
No, I'm pretty sure it was sure it was the
Did you do the research on
Leeds Devil.
I'm sorry, is this your topic?
No, but it's in my head. It's in the vault.
So, in the southern Jersey area, every time something went wrong, they'd blame the Jersey Devil. The cows stopped giving milk, it was the Jersey Devil.
Goddamn Jersey Devil.
There's crop failure,
Jersey Devil.
that Jersey Devil son of a bitch. Animals went missing, or were found dead, the Jersey Devil did it.
Or a hawk, but whatever.
The cows gave bad or curdled milk. It was a
Can they
Jersey
do
Devil.
that?
I guess.
I mean,
If you
how
don't,
long can you leave it in there before?
you got to milk a
bad?
cow every day.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have milk cows, you got to milk them every day. So I think twice a day.
Remember Kingpin? He's like drinking that bucket that's all over his mouth. He's like, I got done milking all the cows for you. He says, we don't have any cows. He's like still drinking.
Yeah, whatever.
It took forever.
So apparently the Lenape tribes described the area as something that
Papoosing?
Popuessing?
that meant the place of the dragon. A Swedish explorer named it Drake's Kill, which means Drake is dragon.
And kill, meaning channel or arm of the sea. Not to murder.
Dragon.
Yeah, Dragon River. Which I think is pretty cool. I'd move there. I want to know what this word means.
So that's probably even before this.
That's before all this supposedly happened. The Indians.
Huh. Did it go on to say that there was like not sightings, but like shit that would happen? You would blame it on?
Yeah, milk.
And
No, like with the tribes and
no, it doesn't mention any of that. It just mentioned that the history that the area has been linked to a dragon-like creature through names and descriptions.
Okay. I like this next one.
Which one?
And then
The early sightings?
yeah.
So, according to legend, while visiting Hanover Mills Works to inspect his cannonballs being forged, Commodore Stephen Decatur sighted a flying creature, fired a cannonball directly upon it, with no effect. Now, later on, I'm gonna talk about a father and son who have had multiple sightings and what their thoughts are on the Jersey Devil. So, Joseph Bonaparte, the older brother of Napoleon, is also claimed to have seen the Jersey Devil while hunting in Bordentown Estate in 1820.
Who let this commie into Jersey?
I don't know. Because when he moved to Jersey, he heard about the legend of the Jersey Devil. In the winter, he was left alone in his country house. He decided to go hunting in the woods on his property. He saw very strange tracks in the snow that were unlikely any animal he had ever seen before. Unlike any animal he'd ever seen before. They looked like donkeys' hooves, but they were only
donkey.
But they were only 2 feet instead of 4. When he turned around, he saw a huge creature with a horse head and wings. It screeched, flew over his head. He told everybody the story, swearing it truly was the Jersey Devil.
Makes me wonder what it actually was.
So these are all early sightings.
Maybe it was the Jersey Devil.
1840, they said it was blamed for livestock killings. Similar reports in 1841.
Accompanied by tracks.
And screams. But 1909 is when, like, everybody saw this thing. There was reported over 1,000 people had sightings in Maryland, New Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania of the devil.
And Pennsylvania.
Most sightings of the Jersey Devil occurred in 1 week in January. 1 week in January. So it's cold out. Which
Right now, pretend it's today. Pretend this is the week in January.
it kind of hurts my theory of what the Jersey Devil is, and I'll get to that then. But just wait, we'll get there.
Sidebar: do you know what Pennsylvania's cryptid is?
Bigfoot?
Squonk.
Squonk.
You made that up.
I'm telling you, I did not make up the squonk. The squonk is like a wild boar. Ours is very boring. He lives in the woods.
Yeah, but like when we did Bigfoot, Pennsylvania was like third on the list of Bigfoot sightings.
Right, but it's not our national cryptid. National.
Actually,
the squonk is a mythical creature that is reputed to live in the hemlock forests of northern Pennsylvania in the United States.
I think New Jersey is the only state in the country that has its state cryptid.
What do you mean?
It's officially their state cryptid is the Jersey Devil.
I think every state has it.
Officially?
I think so.
Or unofficially?
I think it's.
The documentary that I watched.
When was it from?
A couple of years ago.
It's West Virginia, that kid with the banjo.
Isn't West Virginia the Mothman?
Oh, Mothman, yeah.
Mothman's Virginia.
That's right.
Is it?
Yeah.
West Virginia's Mothman, dude. Fallout 76.
Yeah.
Rocks.
Bruh.
Do not do that.
We're gonna have to go through and do all cryptids one day. Continue. I just thought that was a fun fact.
I already have research done.
On the squonk?
No. Never heard of it.
It's a pig. It's a wild boar. And you know what I was just talking about the other day? I was just talking about how yesterday Mom's friend Anne was saying how she could just like not raise an animal to eat it like we did with the pigs.
Oh, I could.
And I was like, yeah, but you know what? Pigs are some of the most disgusting creatures. If you let those things out in the wild for like 3 days or something, they grow husks. Like tusks. They grow tusks and they will kill you. Like they become wild. They become feral.
Pigs will go feral
quicker than anything.
Quicker than any other animal.
Yeah. They're disgusting. They deserve to be
I always
bacon.
wanted a baby pig.
Baby pigs are cute. Like teacup pigs, sure, no problem. If I let that thing out in the wild and it came back with tusks, I would be just
Like the
in
tusks
weird.
and
We had
size
two
of your little
piglets.
dog.
We had 2 piglets.
Yeah, we had two, but I mean they weren't piglets. I mean,
In the end, they were
bacon.
They were bacon and ham.
anyway.
So we over 1,000 sightings in a week.
Now, what the hell is going on down here in Jersey?
Is that 1909?
1909, January.
I mean, that's back in the time where you could say, I have a pain in my side, and they would tell you to do cocaine. Yeah.
Because early Sunday morning, people in Burlington started to see the devil on the street flying through the air. They later found strange hoof prints in the snow. During the week of January 16th through the 23rd, 1909, newspapers at the time published hundreds of claimed encounters with the Jersey Devil all over the state.
That's weird.
And actually, I'm going to bring that picture
That's
up.
a ton of sightings.
I'm going to bring this picture up. This was actually in a Philadelphia paper. As this is what they saw.
Is he wearing clogs?
Yeah, those are
It's like
clothes.
a camel with bat wings,
Yeah.
standing straight up. He's wearing wooden clogs.
He's very emaciated.
It
Yeah.
looks like
He has a very nice
He's got a
rectangle
dog
in the back,
body.
though. Yeah.
it looks like a what are the racing dogs? Greyhound. Looks like a greyhound with a long neck
And a camel head.
and wings.
And obviously, his dog.
I wouldn't be scared of this fucking thing.
I mean, but
Yes,
like,
you would if you saw it in the woods.
Hell
here's
no.
the thing. Like, if you look at this picture, like, if I saw that thing coming at me, yeah, I'd kind of be scared. But this looks a lot smaller than
Looks like a
what's
stuffed
depicted.
animal.
Flesh with my 9, yo.
I mean, this is obviously.
Let me pull that one up. Where's that one at?
This one is obviously photoshopped.
What the guy who took that picture claims it's not. Oh, the picture didn't come through.
Of course he claims. But regardless, you went way too far.
I say we
down.
put him in solitary confinement.
Early.
See if he changes his mind. We'll help him remember whether it was photoshopped or not.
So that picture was actually put in the paper as what people saw. from multiple reports.
So they made a clay bust.
No, there was no clay bust.
Yeah.
Clay finger.
It looked like Gumby.
It kind of, I mean, like, if I were going to make a clay sculpture of that, it would probably look like Gumby. I'm not very good at clay sculpting.
So, among the alleged publicized encounters that week were claims that the creature attacked a trolley car in Hayden Heights and a social club in Camden. So that's like Camden, like right down the road.
That's like the next one.
Right
Yeah,
over the
Bristol.
river.
Camden and Bristol.
Police in Camden and Bristol, Pennsylvania, supposedly fired on the creature with no effect.
Which
No, I mean,
kind of
they
lines
couldn't
up
take
with
it out
what
with a
happened when
cannonball.
that guy shot him with a cannonball and nothing happened.
But now I'm wondering, and we went through this when we did Bigfoot. I'm wondering how much of that is suggestion.
Mhm.
You know, there's a story from the past where a guy shot a cannonball at it, did nothing to it, blah 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 blah. Are these guys say, we shot at it and it did nothing to it either.
It was like 100 years after that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, there's a history of that being the
Yeah,
case.
yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, at that point, it's already kind of like a legend.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely not something that people see every day.
Especially since they're going back to the Indians and they're saying that they called the area, in effect, with a dragon.
There's a movie by that name also. When I was looking up that word, a movie came. It's about. That's a 6-minute short horror film about a guy whose girlfriend is killed by the Jersey Devil and he has to survive.
Johnny doesn't understand short horror films.
Yeah.
You know what's a short film that you would definitely not understand? It's called Possibly in Michigan.
Possibly in Michigan?
Possibly in Michigan. You should watch it. It's really, really weird. You will not understand it at all.
Okay.
Sounds good. So, good time.
Yeah.
You'll know when you know, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo!
So, other reports initially concerned unidentified footprints in the snow, resembling, and sightings of creature resembling Jersey Devil through South Jersey, as far away as Delaware and Western Maryland.
Damn.
There was widespread newspaper coverage. They closed schools. Workers were sent home because of this. It's like, I remember when I was growing up, there was supposedly coyotes in near the development where I lived, and they wouldn't let any of the kids go out and play. Like, we were told we had to stay inside. We're like,
I wish that there would be.
We'll go get them.
Yeah. I wish there was a Jersey Devil sighting today so that I didn't have to go to work on Monday.
There you go.
That'd be nice. Maybe I should make the Jersey Devil real. I will make the
Make a
stuffed
clay
animal.
bust of the Jersey Devil.
I'll make a clay Gumby bust. And also a stuffed animal of a goat.
They send out vigilante groups of hunters who roam the countryside looking for this thing.
Wow.
The Philadelphia Zoo posted a $10,000 reward for the creature. And of course, if there's money involved, there's going to be hoaxes.
Oh, absolutely.
And someone did come forward and say that they had hoaxed the footprints because they wanted the reward money.
Including a kangaroo equipped with artificial claws and bow wings.
Yeah.
Equipped. This kangaroo is fully stocked and equipped.
So now this next one, I only heard one place. It was reported, and there's no evidence of this anywhere. It's not written down anywhere. They found no viable evidence of this. But Howard Taft was the president at the time. Supposedly sent investigators to New Jersey to look into the matter of the Jersey Devil.
That wouldn't surprise me.
And
Taft
hey,
didn't do really anything important. did he?
Department of the Interior, I think he sent.
This thing must have been
Yeah, presidents have never done stupid things before.
Yeah, never. We haven't lived through the last 15 years.
Anyways.
Of course, we don't do politics.
No. Greenwich.
In Greenwich, during December 1925, a local farmer shot an unidentified animal. That supposedly this thing was in stealing his chickens. He shot it, took pictures of it, showed the pictures everywhere.
To 100 people.
At least 100 people. And nobody could identify the creature that he shot. Yet, in my exhaustive search on the internet,
Can't find a picture.
I can't find a picture.
Not a picture anywhere.
Of course.
I found a picture of the flying goat with wings.
Yeah.
That one's a good picture of it. Oh.
That's like today. Like you think everybody and their brother has a fucking camera.
Well, that's what we said with Bigfoot, and
This is 1925.
Yeah, I know, but still to this day.
Now?
I don't know if you went back and listened to past episodes.
I did listen to the Bigfoot episode.
Okay, my thing has always been everybody has like a 9 megapixel fucking camera in the palm of their hand walking around, and no one get a clear picture. Now this father and son did get a picture of whatever.
It's blurry as shit.
It was because it was far away and it was blown up, but they had other pictures that they gave this documentary crew, but they didn't show them on the documentary. So, of course,
Scandalo.
because I'm interested,
This is my theory.
I went on the YouTube channel and my comment was, "Pics, please," or it didn't happen.
This is my theory. They didn't show the pictures because the government won't let them.
Oh. Maybe
Because
there's a.
you know what was real, and I talked to you about this before. Things that were real were like Project MK Ultra. That was real. They fed people like LSD and hallucinogens.
Mm-hmm.
That's real. And then there are like, remember I talked to you about this one podcast that I listened to, and it was like about this thing that happened supposedly after MK Ultra, and then this guy starts talking about like being teleported to Mars or something.
It happens.
But okay, like I don't believe that part.
It happened to me.
I know
There
someone
are some
who
things
fed
that don't make sense.
LSD laced corn to pigeons
Who?
as part of a research project for Penn State. That's what I was told. Of course, there's no evidence of it ever happening, just like Howard Taft. There's no evidence of him sending people to check on this.
Howard Taft did send people, and they've confiscated these photographs.
I know a guy
They are
said they fed LSD.
classified.
You got to remind me when we're done
In the
to show
Library of
Johnny
Congress.
my new crossbow that I got from Ted
Oh,
Nugent.
yeah. I knew a guy who fed pigeons or LSD to pigeons, and they went to the rooftop, and he said he used to take LSD and he'd go to the roof of their school.
And yell at pigeons.
No, and they would
What's wrong with that white devil?
They would hit the pigeons with golf clubs.
Is that the White Devil?
That's the white devil.
What the fuck is that sound?
What's that?
Keeps like it's Jersey Devil.
Yeah,
I don't
know.
It's a squonk. The squonk is a pig that cries.
It's not that.
I just bumped this one. I think it's whenever he moves and he has his foot on something, or no. Now we're just making noises for horror films.
That's enough of that. That's enough.
Okay, well, we were making noises for horror.
Okay, so on July 27th, 1937, an unknown animal with, quote, red eyes was seen by residents in Downingtown, Pennsylvania.
Just private eyes.
Was compared to the Jersey Devil by a reporter for the Pennsylvania Bulletin. And that's the picture that's there, the Pennsylvania Bulletin.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
1973, I feel like they maybe could have, I don't know,
The thing looked
got
like
a better
it was
picture.
37,
What did I say, 47?
73.
Oh, sorry, so
maybe some
37.
kind of old dinosaur that only lives in the acidic.
Do you know that chickens are dinosaurs?
Yes. Maybe it was some kind of
They're
mutated
T-Rexes.
chicken.
They are.
The baby
Maybe
chick.
it was. And he was just eating other chickens. He was a cannibal chicken.
He was a fat chicken,
I relate.
crazy fat chicken.
I relate. Wow, you just made it more relatable for me. Are these like consecutive? Like, are these just like the only sightings that they said?
This was from a couple different sites.
Or these are just reported sightings?
Reported sightings from a couple different sites. And what I was looking for is more modern stuff. And then I found that documentary
Mm-hmm.
for the father and son, and it was recent.
1993. That's pretty recent.
Well, this was like like 2018, 2019. Father and son were out where they believe the foundation of the Leeds home was, and they heard a voice. They saw this Jersey Devil out in the marsh, took some pictures, and the pictures, I wish I could find them because...
Help, I can't swim!
They said it was transforming. They believe that the Jersey Devil is a spiritual thing, not so much a monster thing.
So it's like supernatural.
Supernatural.
Which cryptids are, I would argue that they're supernatural.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how else are you going to get this stuff, you know?
Would you consider Bigfoot a cryptid?
Bigfoot is a cryptid, yeah. I forget where...
Remember I told you when they said that they can teleport?
Yeah, I heard you say that.
So they play by, like, Halloween rules?
Yeah.
Big, slow, but teleport right behind you when you're expecting
or just like, cause that's why they said no, nobody can ever find them.
Have you heard that Bigfoot teleports?
Yes.
You have heard that?
Mm-hmm.
The first time I heard that was when we did our podcast.
Well, I listened to that
believe
podcast.
I still don't believe it.
Yeah. But now she backed me up, so you gotta believe.
Yeah, she backed you up from listening to our podcast.
No.
Have you heard it any other place besides our podcast?
Yes.
Are you lying to me?
No.
Put her in solitary, Michael.
I'm going to help you remember.
I'm going to help you remember where you read it. I probably read it on Wikipedia.
Good source.
Well, that's where I get all of my information. Wikipedia and YouTube.
So, 93, a forest ranger named John Irvin was inspecting the Ulica River, which runs through New Jersey Pine Barrens.
He died right away, though.
He was
driving his breath too long.
He was driving when he had to stop his car because there was a huge animal in the middle of the road. He described it as having thick, black, matted fur, but it also had horns, like a devil or a ram.
Mm-hmm.
It stood over 6 feet tall.
How did it stand over 6 feet tall when it was laying down in the middle of the road?
Well, I guess if you stretched out from...
It doesn't say laying down, just as it was in the middle of the road.
Maybe it was standing in the middle of the road. Okay, first of all, how is this thing 6 feet tall? This is a goat.
It's a goat, man. Like a chupacabra.
It's a goat on 2 legs. Goats standing up are not 6 feet tall. No way.
So,
yeah.
He was staring at it. It was staring at him for several minutes.
You have any Grey Poupon?
And of course, there was no smartphones at the time, 93.
No, weren't there?
No,
when
not 93.
When did the first smartphone come out? Hey Siri.
Oh, here we go.
When did the first smartphone release? $1992.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody had one in 92.
What was it?
It's one of those ones that was like in a bag and it was big.
That's not a smartphone. I had a bag phone. Stop.
Yeah, I was gonna say 93. I don't even think the Motorola Razr was out then.
I had a flip phone in 93.
Yeah, so
I had the flip brick. They call it the flip brick.
I think I had. I remember I had a Sprint, and it was like about like that big. It just looked like a handheld.
You always had BlackBerry.
It didn't fold in half or nothing.
I remember I had a pink Razr in middle school.
I had a white Razr.
They said this is before everyone carried a smartphone.
Okay.
Everyone.
So there'd be no way for him to capture evidence. He didn't dare move his car, afraid that it might attack him. After the staring contest was over, the creature went back into the woods. Now, that was one of the themes that I found with a lot of the sightings, that the Jersey Devil has never been, with the exception of the origin story, never been violent towards people.
Never violated anyone?
No, why? You were just about to get in the car going to Jersey? Hi, Jersey Devil, here I am.
I already started my car. It's warming up right now.
I know the toy box killer. We were friends.
The thing that strikes me
about...
Hey,
get back here, Jersey Devil. Where you going?
About specifically this...
I started the camera already.
This kind of sounds like almost like a Bigfoot sighting.
Well, yeah. All cryptid sightings sound like Bigfoot sightings.
I just can't wait to go hunting in
Wisconsin. I just mean like the way that it acts.
Or Idaho.
Whereas prior, they just based on like what they blamed it for and the other stories that we've heard so far about it. It hasn't been like attacking people, but it attacks animals.
For food.
Well,
maybe.
Depends. Have you ever gotten into the missing 411? The guy doesn't really specifically say what he thinks it is, but they do contribute like a lot of missing hikers as being fallen prey to like some kind of Bigfoot or something weird.
Maybe they fell prey to a Jersey Devil because this definitely seems to be more aggressive than a Bigfoot. I feel like big feet, Sasquatches.
Bigfoot. It's
Big
plural.
feet. Big feet.
It's big feet.
It's like deer.
And we're not talking about your ex-girlfriend.
Door.
Deers.
Door. One deer, three
You want
doors.
something really interesting? Get into the 411. That's really freaking cool. I got all the books if you want to borrow them sometime.
And if you guys want to correct us, you can email us at takeontheworld411@gmail.com.
Don't
Anywho,
correct me. I'll correct.
I love
I'll
fact
cry.
check. I love the fact check. And now you can watch me fact check in real time with our new monitor. So, The Legend of Smithville Inn.
I think I've heard this one.
Fran Coppola, not Francis Ford,
Prowl.
not Francis Ford Coppola. I don't know who you're talking about.
Hey, hold on. Let me interject here with something completely off the side.
No, goodbye.
Francis Ford Coppola, who Nicolas Cage is a Coppola. I don't know if you knew that.
Yes.
And he changed his name because he didn't want to be associated and get like special treatment. And I just read today that he was in like 1993 or 1990. I think it was. Oh shit! Some famous director wanted to cast him in a Spider-Man movie. No, a Superman movie.
Nick Cage?
Yeah, it was a Spider-Man movie. Yeah.
It was almost completely done. There are videos of him in this costume.
In this costume, yeah. They said he didn't crawl up walls or do nothing crazy like that. He's just like, I guess just fought crime or something.
Yeah.
Whoa! Stop right there. that was not Nick Cage. that was more Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the best I could do.
See, we had this argument. I think Nick Cage is a horrible actor.
No way. Have you ever watched National Treasure?
Yeah,
Any of them?
That's a bad
Yes.
movie.
They were great.
I love the movies.
I'm going to steal the Declaration.
I love the movies, but his acting is just horrible.
No.
So John said when he interviews Nick Cage,
Right.
he's going to tell Nick Cage what I said. And Nick Cage, well, I don't like your fucking podcast either. Join the list of thousands and thousands who don't.
He probably would say that. Anyways.
Well, if he's listening, we got a seat here for you in the man cave.
Yeah, we have our guest spot over here.
Be our guest.
You just got to deal with the blue headphones.
I've been told
Nicolas Cage, you can wear my headphones if you want to.
I've been told that Love Bug wants to make another guest appearance.
Nice.
And the guy who got me into podcasting, Casey, I talked to him about maybe coming on sometime in the future, which would be cool.
Fun.
He has a really good podcast. I'm going to shout out to him again because he thanked me for my shout out last time. He does a pop culture podcast, deluxe edition. I listen to it all the time. I love it. Some of the people he's interviewed, it just takes me back to my childhood. I love it.
Takes it right back to the 1700s.
To the 80s. To the 80s, girl.
1780s.
1880s. There you go, 1780s.
Frickin' millennials. So, Frank Coppola, owner of Smithville Inn, walked outside one night to put the restaurant trash in the trash bin. She looked up, saw a shadow of a winged figure looming over her. She felt very calm, and instead of running away, she just continued to stare. For whatever reason, she felt the Jersey Devil was actually guarding the Smithville Inn and protecting it like some kind of guardian angel rather than attacking the patron. I think business was slow.
She had one too many martinis.
And Franny
No, she was trying to start a business.
stirred up some business by making some Jersey Devil connections.
Or she went outside and breathed in some shroom dust.
But she admits she's a true believer in the Jersey Devil.
He was wearing a trench coat and he had a horn. Aye.
Aruga.
Okay, but I want to talk about the Snallygaster because he's a cool name.
Okay, that's the Maryland version. But go ahead.
Who the fuck came up with that name?
I don't know, it's called the Maryland Snallygaster. And the theory is that they could be one and the same.
Because of proximity, and if you go back historically, there's been sightings of the Jersey Devil in Pennsylvania, Jersey, Maryland, and Delaware.
Right, kind of like the tri-state area.
Yeah.
But not New York.
Too far north.
No.
Gets too cold up there for the Jersey Devil.
The farther north you go in Jersey, the worse the air gets. you get to New York, and it's just like it'll kill you.
It's kryptonite to the Jersey Devil.
You're on the Benji Franklin Bridge, and you gotta because it's still even bad. On the outskirts of Philly out there.
Well, that section mentions the Snallygaster again. And that cryptid is actually mentioned in Fallout 76.
The Snallygaster?
Yes, it is.
One of my friends is really into cryptids. I learned a lot from him. So what does this say? Skeptics among us might all be thinking the same thing. It's that these sightings are probably some kind of animal in the forest. But people are imagining that it is some otherworldly demonic creature. Maybe it's a great horned owl, a donkey, or a very strong eagle carrying a goat.
Okay. Actually, eagles are fucking huge.
Who knows?
Did I tell you about when I went out to see my dad out in Iowa?
No.
We went out, and we're driving along this road, and along, I guess, the sick pigs get put out in the field and tilled in. I don't know if they're supposed to do it, but that's what they do. So there was a sick piglet that they had just thrown out there. And every telephone pole had an eagle sitting on top. Just waiting. And these, like I was amazed at how big these birds are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always thought eagle. And it's more like eagle. Like, they're 4 foot tall.
Yeah.
They're huge.
I think they said that bald eagle is the Union bald eagle.
Yes.
They said as the smallest of the eagles.
Really?
Yeah, I just read that. And it was I think there's an eagle in Australia that's like 3 times bigger than it.
I can't imagine a bird 3 times bigger than that.
I mean, it's also Australia.
Yeah.
Australia.
No joke.
Oh, look it up.
So the eagle's the smallest.
I'll fact check you.
Get in the box. You are wrong.
What we do know is that New Jersey isn't the only state that claims that they see a winged creature. Nearby in Maryland, they have a legend of the Snallygaster. The Snallygaster is a dragon-like beast that stalked German immigrants in the woods of central Maryland in the 1700s. It is described as being half bird and half reptile, and that it is big enough to pick up a human being and suck out their blood. In the 1800s, slave masters told their slaves that if they had to leave, or if they tried to leave, the Snallygaster would eat them as they ran away into the woods.
That's fucked up.
Unlike the Jersey Devil, though, there is not really any modern-day sightings. Probably because they're the same.
And one of the things about the Jersey Devil, you're living down there, you're in these small little towns, you want your kids to behave. If you go out and play in the woods like I told you not to, the Jersey Devil will get you.
Yeah. The Snallygaster.
The Snallygaster, the Jersey Devil. The monsters are out there. It could be like the Krampus.
Right.
I remember me and my sister.
It's kind of a cryptid.
We were younger.
We should do the Krampus.
Yeah, we should.
You
know what the Krampus is?
Mm-hmm.
He's cool.
Yeah.
You see the movie?
Did I ever tell you what I did with my daughter? No. And my niece. So
you want to take coal for you for next year?
Yeah.
So we don't forget?
Yeah. So no, I told him, I said, if you don't behave, I said, fucking Krampus is going to come and get you. And they're like, what's the Krampus? So I showed him a picture. They said he's this monster who carries around a sack full of bad children, and he drags a chain with him. He said you can hear him wherever he goes. So Christmas Eve, I told him.
You're such a dick.
Christmas Eve,
that's something I would do.
I got a chain this long, and I was dragging it in front of their door and down the stairs. They were scared fucking shitless, dude.
I would be too.
And they woke up the next morning, and my daughter and her cousin were like, "Daddy, were you awake last night?" And I'm like, "No." Like, we heard the Krampus. And what do you mean? We heard the chain outside of our door. We could hear it coming up the stairs.
Dude, you're horrible. I love it.
That was great. But then I told him that the what I wrote on the I actually bought him an NES, like an original NES, and I wrapped it all up and I put from the Krampus. So they think the Krampus. So every year now the Krampus gets them a gift if they're good.
That's cool.
And if they're not, he's gonna eat them.
Beware.
If you're not good, we may eat you. If you're good, maybe I'll get you something.
Yeah.
Like just to look at my niece's eye, she was like, just so innocent, like it was hilarious. I was years ago when me and my sister were younger. My stepsister was asleep in the night over, and it was right around Easter. And me and my sister got the right idea. We got a bunch of cotton, and we like strewed it all over the house. We put like ketchup on it. We told her we killed the Easter bunny. And I feel kind of bad for this now, but she was like terrified back. Oh my god! I think she started crying. We were just little assholes.
Yes, you were.
That was bad.
Were.
But yeah, she's cool with us now. I haven't seen her for a while, but she still keeps in contact with us.
So Route 9 is one of the major roads that runs along the Pine Barrens, and people used to go on that road to go down to Jersey Shore. I think I've been on that road. One of the many sightings included...
How many roads on going down the beach? Like 2 roads, isn't it?
Well, you have the Pay Road, and then when we were coming back from Stone Harbor one time, the people we went down with showed us the back roads, so you don't have to pay the tolls. One of the many sightings included the Weird New Jersey book. It was a story from someone going...
Included in.
Wow. I can't read that far.
Saying that was included in the Weird New Jersey.
You go ahead, read that.
Was from a story from someone going by the name Sonny Z.
He had to be from Jersey.
Hey, yo, Sonny.
Yeah, I'm Sonny Z.
He wrote that it was around 10 p.m. at night, and Sonny was driving through the town of Bayville. 2 cars driving ahead of him had to suddenly slam on their brakes when a disgusting creature emerged from the woods. He described it as being hairless, with strange, short ears and hooved feet. He also said it towered over the road, standing nearly 10 feet tall. He said that it looked like every classic drawing of the Jersey Devil that he had ever seen, and that it galloped at high speeds across the highway. Of course, many people told Sonny that it was just a deer, but he insists that he had seen plenty of deer driving at night before. There was absolutely no animal that he'd ever seen prior.
So this next one is 2015. Another Route 9. People claimed that they thought they had seen the Jersey Devil along Route 9 in Egg Harbor Township near a golf course. The witness, David Black, thought that there was a llama. This is the picture. This is the guy with the picture. That picture.
It's not Photoshopped.
It was not Photoshopped, I promise.
It's Photoshopped.
There was a llama standing inside the fence of the roadway until it suddenly whipped out gigantic wings and started flying away.
Huh. Thought you were going to say whipped out a golf club.
And
yeah.
Holy man.
Hey, should I use a 9 or an 8?
Hey, buddy.
Yeah. Hey.
What would you recommend?
9-iron or a wedge? David Black grabbed his cell phone and captured a video of this creature. The video clip was very short. It shows what appears to be the Jersey Devil flying across the screen, a black silhouette against a colorful sunset.
Where's the fucking video?
This is the still image. I just found a still image, bro. It looked like a goat with horns that someone taped wings to. And this is what he said. I told NewJersey.com, I swear it's not Photoshop or a stage thing.
People have said it's fake, but it's not.
Honestly.
I'm just looking for an explanation for what I saw. Wow. What an honest guy.
And the picture's not there. But I do have that. That's the picture I brought up before. Oh, that's the one. Right
He
there.
had too many natty ices.
Dude, literally, that looks like a goat with a hunchback.
Yeah.
It looks like a goat. Literally just a goat with wings.
It's a hunchback goat.
First of all, it doesn't match any of the other sightings.
You know, I think I've seen that. I think I've seen a hunchback goat around here.
It doesn't match any of the other sightings, so I really don't see how this could be possible.
So,
yeah.
I'm
and I think
skeptical of that.
2018 was a sighting with the father and son, and they claim to have seen it multiple times, but they do not think it's some sort of monster. They think it's something
Supernatural.
supernatural.
Yeah, which makes sense. What is it transforming into? Maybe all the cryptids are the same thing. Maybe they're all like,
Guy named Joe.
listen, just throwing some theories out.
Now,
Me-
Lex, where do you stand on Bigfoot? Real, not real, possible, not possible.
I don't know. I guess I think anything's possible. You know what I mean? I mean, John lived in a Bigfoot hut or something, right? So
he was born and raised in a Bigfoot hut. He knows how to make Bigfoot sounds. Listen.
I've got hooked feet.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm kind of the same way. Like I don't discount it. Like it could never happen, but I just
what
I'm not sure.
intrigues me is all the native lore and accounts of it. Almost like I said before, almost every native tribe has their version of a Bigfoot.
right.
And not only here, but across the world. That's what intrigues me.
Yeah.
Like all across the world, there are some sort of sightings of
Things.
this type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So I don't believe in coincidence, so I think there might be something there.
like there's got to be something that people are seeing.
Well, here with this, now I wanted to bring up something. Back when these were first being seen, there was still a slave trade in the United States, and now you're getting kind of north,
Yeah.
pretty far for slaves, but there's something called a hammerheaded fruit bat, and I'm gonna throw a picture of it up. And like, tell me that could not be mistaken. Now, not 6 foot tall, not 10 foot tall, but when you're scared,
I mean, when you're looking at that, if that thing's floating
Thing
up
was
in the
dead.
air, it's not. He's just holding it by its throat. If that thing's like, see, I don't know because
tell me it doesn't look like a horse face
it does.
with wings.
It does.
It's got claws down there.
It does. It's got claws.
Like it does everything, and the reflection of the eyes would probably be either red or like when you reflect
Right.
the dog's eyes, like gold colored.
Any other pictures of it?
That's the best picture I found. There are other pictures of it, but none of them look that big.
What?
And that's what I was just about to say. Is I think
You have
it
any
looks
pictures
big
of
because
it
he's kind
without
of
it on the
holding it
grill?
out.
Yeah, supposedly the body is only about a foot long.
Yeah.
But that one looks bigger than a foot.
And I guess if
Yeah.
it's like if it's hovering above the ground, you know what I mean. Like
And-
if it's going.
Well, like an eagle. When the eagle extends its wings, it looks so much bigger.
Obviously, you think they're the biggest things on the planet, and there's bigger ones in Australia. So
Huge, dude.
You ever see that eagle take that kid?
what?
They're in a park and like families in a park and there's a like little.
Yeah, I think that was fake.
I don't think so. A little kid. He's sitting there and it must be cold. He's got a jacket, like a poopy jacket on. The eagle swoops down, grabs the kid by the back, lifts him up. The parents start chasing. It only gets him off the ground about like 5 foot. And he just couldn't hold on anymore and drops him.
Well, that's because there was a snake coming. The eagle was saving from the snake.
Mhm.
You're just moving him.
Yeah.
Just moving them. But I'm telling you, like, if
Yeah.
something like that came over on a slave ship or a ship with fruits
Yeah.
and vegetables,
Yeah, but what would it eat?
well, I don't think it would survive long. And that's what I'm going.
That's why that.
I'm going back to that 1 week in 1909,
Where everybody saw like 1,000.
where 1,000
sightings.
people saw this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you have that many people see it, people are going to put credence into it.
Right, like you can't really discount the whole thing
And,
because
and
there's
then
so many.
and then anytime you see something in the woods, your mind's going to think, well, that's what it is.
No.
And I'm thinking 1909, it's possible that one of those made it over here.
hmm
Where are they from?
Probably Africa.
The Africa South Horn, or the Ivory Coast, something like that. The Horn of Africa.
Maybe that's what the eagles are in Australia.
Yeah. I don't know.
That could be an Australian eagle, not a
Yeah.
fruit bat.
You would never know.
Could be an Australian eagle.
Have you ever been to Australia? Didn't think so. You'd never know.
It's a kind
Never
of
been.
funky looking animal, but
Yeah.
kind of cool looking,
Yeah. I
and
like
kind
it.
of disturbing at the same time.
No, I think
Yeah.
it's cute. I want one.
Maybe that's why the howling. It was hungry.
Yeah.
Well-
He's screechy.
Yeah.
A bat would screech.
Yeah.
They use echolocation.
Except louder.
Anyway,
Let's see Ozzy bite that head off.
but that compared to that,
Yeah, I think that it could be similar.
your mind plays tricks on you when you see stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So that's our foray into the Jersey Devil.
Joyzy.
If you have any, if you've seen the Jersey Devil,
Tell me.
We're not talking about your ex-mother-in-law.
no, feel free to email us and let us know. Share your story with us. I promise John won't make fun of you.
No, not at all.
I will.
Yeah,
John lives in a Bigfoot hut. He can't make fun of anybody.
I visited.
He visited.
Actually,
one.
I happened upon one. I never did go in it, I don't think.
Didn't you?
No.
Dude, that surprises me. I would have.
I've been like, what the fuck?
It's just like eerie because you're in the middle of nowhere. And you're like, what is this thing?
Okay, but imagine like if you walk through the woods back here, you're gonna hit the Boy Scout camp eventually. Look, I've explored in there because I was like, "What's this?" I didn't know what it was when I was a kid.
Well, now it's an actual building. That before there wasn't buildings.
Yeah, but this
There
is
was
way
just platforms
more,
and stuff, and it was like, what the hell is this?
This
in
is
the
way
middle
more
of the place?
rural than where I was. I mean, I'm 11,000 feet up in the middle of nowhere, and the nearest ranger station was probably like 30 miles away.
That's where you see those stairs in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, I would definitely walk up them.
And we'd never hear from you again.
Bye, John.
Have you ever heard of those?
No.
You got to listen to Brahio. What's his face telling stories?
Oh, Rob.
Yeah, Rob Dog tells stories on the. He does just a separate thing, just him telling. He's reading them off of Reddit, but it's some
Yeah.
freaky freaking shit.
Reddit has some good stuff.
We'll have a Reddit someday, a subreddit.
You should look up some of like the. And I know it sounds like okay, whatever, but like you should really read some like the creepypastas and stuff on Reddit. They're really good.
Creepy what?
Creepypastas.
Pasta?
They're called creepypastas. They're just like
Not penne, creepy.
Oh, I thought we were having dinner.
already. No, they're pretty cool.
Say pasta. There's some pasta. I'm hungry.
It's like they're like scary stories. Some of them are like supernatural, or if you read what the heck is that one called? I can't remember what it's called. I'll have to figure it out later. But there are like some really good subreddits on there where people will just like write about scary stories. There's this one subreddit that's I think it's called Let's Not Meet, and it's about your creepy neighbors and stuff. There's some really good stuff on there you can find. Some of them are like obviously fake. Some of them seem supernatural.
I have this neighbor named Mike.
Yeah.
He's really fucked up.
Yeah. They have this basement. I don't know what they do in there.
I just hear sounds coming from it every night.
Someone laughs. But yeah, there's some good stuff. There's some good stories on there.
I'll have to keep that in mind for future episodes.
Yeah.
So as for this week, I think we've
That's
concluded.
all she wrote.
That's all she wrote. And go take on the world. Hold on, stop.
Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, Boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill.
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.